So now let's start with path module in Node.js. So the path module in Node.js actually provides utilities for working with file and directory paths. It helps you handle path related operations in a cross-platform manner, ensuring that your code works correctly on different operating systems. So here are some commonly used methods in path module along with explanation. So first of all, how to import the path module. So you can actually go to the official website. So you can simply search for path module Node.js and you would get the nodejs.org. This is the official documentation and you can visit this, you can explore these methods. They have mentioned this very properly, but this is up to you. We would be exploring some important methods. So right now you can see, first of all, they told us how to actually import it. Okay, so you can import it this way, or you can import it directly by writing const path equals require path. So this is another method. Either you can write node colon path, or you can directly write path. Both mean the same. Okay, so now first of all, suppose we have a file. You can see we had a file, new file.txt, right? We had this file. Suppose I want to get the base name, that is what's the name of this file. Okay, so first of all I would just give the path. So I'll just simply write path dot base name, and you are talking about, for example, if I just say current file. Okay, if I just give the file name, for example, I'm just saying that this is my file. Okay, so if I just write the direct name of the file .txt, let's see what actually happens. First of all, if I write this, I need to just run this. Okay, so let me just clear this. For clearing, if I write clear, it would clear things. Then if I write node and then the file path module dot t path module tut.js, so you can see that in return I got new file.txt. But instead of this, if instead of this I write something else, okay, I write something else. For example, where am I? I'm actually inside. So for example, if I write MERN underscore TUTORIALS slash NODEJS slash and new file.txt. Now let's see what it actually returns. So I've assumed that inside this folder I have one more folder, I have one more file. Okay, so it's like this. I have just mentioned some path. So if I mention this, you can see I got the base name again. Okay, so base name is what the file which we are talking about, right? So instead of this, you can actually get a lot things, but first of all, I'm just so similar to this. For example, if I write dir name, okay, so if I write dir name, what would I see? So you can see I got the directory name of the file which we have written here. Okay, so suppose this is some path, so you would get the directory. Okay, the directory, not the file, the directory this time. So base name is the file, directory is the directories outside, right? So now after this we have one more thing, that is ext name. Okay, so okay, I'll do one thing. I'll just comment this out and comment this out also. Okay, now let's talk about one more thing, that is what ext name, that means extension name. So suppose you have some file path like this and you want to get the extension, so you can see I got the extension, that is the file which I mentioned is a .txt file. Okay, .txt type. So that's what I got here. Okay, so now one more thing, that is absolute path. Okay, so it actually determines whether a path is absolute path or not. It returns true if the path is absolute, else it returns false. I say that this path is what? This is the direct path, that means this is the absolute path. Okay, so let me just comment this out and let me just show you with the option is absolute. So if I try to print this, okay, if I try to print this, so you would see that this is the absolute path. But what else is the method? For example, if we have some folder here, the folder name is test. Inside this we have a file named as test.txt. okay, file test.txt. okay, suppose this is the file and I have something inside this. Now from this file I want to target this folder. Inside this I have this file. Okay, so that means I want to target this file. How can I do this? One method is you can write things directly. That means you could have said inside Node.js, what do we have? We have the test folder. Inside this, we have the uh, test file test dot txt. Okay, so this is the absolute path. You just gave the outer folder, that means the root folder. Suppose inside this you have some file, inside this another folder, another file, like this. Okay, so if I just show you, this is the absolute path. But suppose instead of this I could have written another thing, that is you can actually use some expression. So right now you are here, that means in the same folder I'm looking for test folder. Okay, so I'm just saying that in the same folder, that means dot slash. If I want to jump one folder out, that means dot dot slash. If I want to jump two folder out, dot dot slash again. Okay, so it's like this, but in the same folder, that means dot slash, look for test folder, then look for which file? File test.txt. So if I write it now, so you can see it's actually false. That means I'm targeting the same file. The path is correct, but the method is different. So this is the absolute path. That means you have to mention each and every file directory, what comes in between. You're mentioning everything starting from the root. This is suppose the root. Instead of this you could have start from D drive. Suppose from D drive you are starting with this, like this. Okay, this is the absolute path, complete path. But here I'm just mentioning that in the same folder or outside, or jump two folder outside, whatever you want, you are just looking for some file. Okay, so that's how actually absolute and not absolute path work. Okay, fine, I hope it got cleared. Now one more important thing is, if you want to get the current path, so you can actually say let current path equals, and if I just say underscore underscore file name. Okay, so if I write it like this, for example, and if I just print this, what would happen? Okay, so if I print this, you can see that I got the current path. Okay, so if you write it like this, that means you're talking about file name, and instead of this, if I just write dir name, so it would give the directory name. Okay, so if I write dir name underscore underscore dir name, so you can see I just got the directory name. Okay, so right now suppose we are just talking about the file name, and I want to get details out of a path. Okay, that there is, we have a path here, complete path here. I want to get some details out of it. How can I get? So I can actually use path dot parse. Inside this you just have to pass whatever path you have. Okay, so now if I write it like this, so you can see I got the complete format. It actually parses the format. So guys, if you want to get complete details like what is the root directory, what is the directory, full directory, what is the base name, what is the extension name, what is the file name, then you can actually use this. Okay, so this was all about the path module, and you would be using this in some cases when you want to just get details of a file, you want to get the name of the file, extension of the file. In those cases you would be using this a lot, so it's really helpful, right? So that's it for path module.